The morning air trembles with a thin, high-chatter baboons moving in a loose river across tawny grass. Then the sound fractures. From the brush, painted bodies ripple into view. African wild dogs, lean and tireless, fanning out with terrifying precision. The troop bunches. Dust hangs like breath over a cliff. At the edge, a scar-eared male split ear turns, shoulders bunched, hands flexing. The dogs close in, circling. Teeth glint. A single rock outcrop stands behind him like a final island. This is where speed ends and endurance begins. Split ear feels the ground, toes gripping dirt the way a climber tests a ledge. Behind him, youngsters cling to their mothers' bellies. The female's eyes sweep the circle, counting angles, seeking gaps. The dogs move in silence that is somehow louder than any roar, footfalls whispering over dry stems, tails flagging signals. One dog drifts left, another mirrors right. The pair behind them throttle into a stagger that narrows space without seeming to move. It's not a charge. It's a tightening. A juvenile baboon bursts forward too soon, shrieking. Split ear snaps his jaws, a sharp crack of authority. The youngster skids back, almost tumbling. Even in terror, the troop needs order. On the dog's side, order is breath. They glide like a single organism changing shape, weight rolling from shoulder to shoulder. A spotted face glances at Split Ear, then past him to the rock, calculating the climb route. The pinch points. First contact comes not as a clash, but a probe. A dog darts in at ankle height. Split Ear jerks, feints a kick, and the dog veers away. Satisfied with how easily the big male overcommitted, another probes the right flank, snapping at a female's heel. She lunges to bite. The dog is already gone. Probes keep landing. Each one steals a breath, a step, a shred of nerve. Split Ear tries the first escape. Punch a hole in the circle. He surges left, shoulders low, hands scooping dust into the dog's eyes as he barrels toward the thinnest seam. For 3 strides, space opens hope as wide as a hand span. Then a dog slides in from nowhere, chest to chest, denying line, while a second sweeps in from the rear, nipping the hamstring that powers the drive. Split Ear spins, snarling, canines bared. The seam seals like water. The troop pivots toward the rock. It's not high, but it is steep, pitted face, a scatter of finger holds, a small shelf halfway up. If they can reach the shelf, mothers can brace, youngsters can cling, and males can hold the front with rolling charges. It's a plan made of seconds. The dogs read it instantly. They don't stop the troop from reaching the rock. They make the approach expensive. One pair harasses the rear, forcing stutter steps. Another pair floats at the front, just close enough to corrupt clean footwork. The first female leaps, nails scraping stone, body swinging heavy with the infant's weight. She grasps, misses, claws again, and hauls up. 2 juveniles scramble after her, nails ticking like rain. Split Ear anchors the base, a living barrier. He lunges, smacks a muzzle with a rock he ripped from the ground. A dog yelps but stays in the fight, circling wide to reset. Split Ear shifts, never letting his flank show. He is building seconds, one snarl at a time. A pale-coated dog with a black blaze across its eyes threads in low, faster than the rest. It snaps for Split Ear's wrist during a backhand swing. Teeth shear fur. The rock drops from Split Ear's hand. For a beat, the world tilts. A weapon gone. A wrist hot with pain. A circle that feels smaller. He steps back to the stone. The troop is not safe yet, and the dogs know it. The circle collapses to an ellipse pinned against the rock. Every move now is through other bodies. Over tails, under elbows. A tangle of fear and grit. Split Ear chooses his stance, left shoulder to the wall, right hand free to strike. He works in bursts, 2 steps forward, 1 step back using weight to bully space, then retreating before the net cinches. The dogs switch tempo. When baboons hesitate, they slow. When baboons commit, they quicken. A triad peels from the outer ring and rotates front to back, trading fresh lungs for tired ones. The pale-coated sprinter is always there, a flicker at the edge of vision, teaching the troop to blink. Another dog, older, scarred across the flank, takes the middle, steady, stubborn, unblinking. The two styles of pressure, flash and stone, begin to braid, and the braid tightens. A youngster slips. One hand misses the hold. He slaps the rock, loses vertical, scrapes down, lands on his haunches with a stunned gasp. In an instant, 3 dogs knife toward him. The nearest female hurls her body between them, and the fallen youth, arms wide, teeth bright. She screams. A sound that rips at the nerves. A dog flinches, the others hesitate, and that is all Split Ear needs. He drops from the base like a hammer, both hands coming down on the nearest muzzle. The crunch is dull. The dog recoils. Split Ear doesn't chase. He retakes position, breath harsh, heart banging against bone. The rock eats nails. The air eats water. Each breath rasps. Each stance burns. The troop's rhythm starts to fray. A male beside Split Ear lashes out too far, and a dog rakes his calf. Blood dots the dust. The scent jolts the pack into a higher gear, ears forward, tails stiff. Sound changes too. The dog's soft huffing becomes chuffs and squeaks, signals accelerating. The clock, once a slow grind, is now a metronome on double time. Split Ear tries the second escape. A false retreat to pull the front left, then a pivot to punch the right seam. He drives the decoy step hard enough to convince even his own body, then whips the other way. For a blink, lanes cross, and dogs trip over each other. Hope flares. But the scar-flanked dog reads it. He has seen feints in 100 chases. He plants, blocks, and the seam collapses with a slap of paws and a clatter of teeth. Despair is not a scream. It is a soft thing that seeps. It creeps into footwork first, then into eyes. A juvenile clings to the ledge, fingers cramping. The female beside him can't spare a hand to help. Split Ear feels the seep and fights it with habit. Count the angles, control the hips, protect the line. He barks short commands, not words but beats for the troop to step to. Huck 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 huck. The dogs escalate again. 2 slingshot from the rear and feint at the rock face itself, pawing at the footholds, trying to panic those above into dropping. Gravel spills. A youngster squeals. The pale-coated sprinter dives inside Split Ear's reach, aiming for the wrist again. This time, Split Ear yields the target, turns the arm limp, and swings the heavy left elbow first into the dog's temple. Impact shivers bone. The dog stumbles. Another immediately fills its place. The braid never loosens. A gust lifts grit. The world blurs into moving dots of light. In the brief fog, the dogs surge as one. Split Ear squares, low and wide, hands open. The rock is at his back. There is nowhere left to learn. Only the last idea remains. To make the circle break itself. Renewal arrives disguised as collapse. A trembling juvenile finally lets go of the ledge and drops onto Split Ear's shoulders. The impact drives the big male a half step forward straight into the kill lane the dogs have been crafting for minutes. Several muzzles flash. Teeth seek tendon. The world tries to funnel toward an end. Split Ear does the opposite of what a cornered animal should do. He relaxes. He lets the drop carry him. Hips slack, knees folding, center falling below teeth height. The first snap closes on air. He rolls the juvenile off his spine with a deft shrug and, from that low crouch, he launches not outward, but upward, hands slapping, fingers clawing, a climber's pop to the shelf. He lands chest first, elbows locked, body a battering ram against the granite lip. The sudden geometry shocks the pack. Their tight ellipse has been calibrated to a ground fight, not to a vertical pivot. For 2 beats, their lanes cross awkwardly. They check each other's strides. Split Ear shoves, dragging his bulk onto the shelf, knees searching for bite, toes scraping for hooks. Above, the female with the infant reaches down and grips the fur at his nape. A crude pulley. Another male braces her hips, so she cannot be pulled off by the effort. The troop becomes a machine, one that lifts. Dogs adjust, because that is what they do. The pale-coated sprinter sprints again straight at the wall, back legs digging for purchase, claws skittering as it tries to jump to Split Ear's ankles. The scar-flanked anchor dog angles to meet Split Ear if he slides. 2 more begin circling the rock to cut off any descent route. The net redraws itself in 3 dimensions. Split Ear understands. Climbing alone buys seconds. Climbing as an organized mass buys survival. He barks that short HAK rhythm again 3 beats, and the baboons echo it with motion. On beat 1, those above lean, shifting weight forward to counter his pull. On beat 2, the pair at the base surge together, not to escape, but to shoulder check the pack into hesitation. On beat 3, Split Ear heaves, converting the hesitation into height. They repeat. A living winch. 1, 2, 3, lift. The pack feels the pattern and tries to break it with chaos. The sprinter times a leap on the 2, when baboons are leaning forward, and balance is worst. It claws at Split Ear's calf, nails rake fur. Split Ear does not kick. He slams his knee down into the rock, pinning the dog's paw between bone and granite. The yelp is strangled and sharp. The momentary recoil gives him the 3rd beat clean. Lift. Half his body clears the shelf. The big male above gray-muzzled, ribs showing hooks and arm under split ears, tendons standing out like wire. He doesn't have the strength to hoist a full male, not anymore. But he does have timing. On the next three, he doesn't pull up. He pulls out, angling split ear's chest over the lip so mass can do what muscle can't. Split ear rolls, lands on his side, chest heaving. The shelf is now a fortress with a gate, and the gate is a baboon's body. The breakthrough is not just a climb. It is a reversal of roles. From the shelf, the troop has height, gravity, and reach. Split ear presses back to the lip and becomes a hinge. When a dog darts in to test the wall, he drops a rock small enough to control, heavy enough to matter straight down. The rock doesn't need to hit a skull, it needs to hit confidence. Each thud is a new rule. The wall bites. Below, the base team switches from desperate denial to purposeful delay. They no longer try to escape between dogs. They try to make dogs think about angles they cannot see. One male fakes a lunge left, then plants and rips a tuft of grass straight into a snap lane, blinding the bite. A female slaps the ground so hard her palm smacks like a branch crack, a sound cue that makes two dogs glance the wrong way. Micro victories stack. A half second here, a misstep there. The pack adapts again, of course it does. The scar-flanked anchor steadies the front, mapping new jump points. The sprinter shakes out its paw and tests a diagonal leap. They are tireless, they are system and storm. But systems are brittle at edges. The baboons widen the edge. Split ear initiates the final sequence, a coordinated pull and push that trades bodies through the gate. On his bark, two base baboons press in, drawing heat, while two from the shelf drop arms to haul them up, forearms to wrists, old scars to fresh dirt, hands tighten, feet scrape. The dogs surge, the hinge holds. 1, 2, 3 lift. Bodies rise. The gate closes. Again. 1, 2, 3 lift. Another pair clears. The shelf fills with shaking chests, flared nostrils, eyes lit with effort. The sprinter makes one last gamble. It rockets from a diagonal, claws skittering, teeth opening for split ear's forearm. The big male meets it not with a strike, but with stillness. Forearm turned, bones aligned, wrist rolling with the bite to bleed off force. At the same time, his other hand collused, scarred, relentless, finds a shallow nub of rock beside the lip. Fingers close. It is purchased the width of a thumb, the final grip. With that anchor, he rotates his hips, dragging the sprinter's momentum into the wall. The dog slams chest first, breath whooshing. It drops, legs scrambling. The moment blooms one of those impossible instants when a circle finally forgets its shape. The pack wavers. Hack. The troop moves as one. A last pair of hands are hauled up. Split ear rolls onto the shelf completely and turns. Chest to granite. Eyes on the field below. He is not triumphant. He is precise. He draws air. He watches the pack reset. Reconsider. They don't quit because they are dogs, and dogs don't quit. They cycle once, twice, probing for a new weakness. Stones thud, hands slap. The shelf is stone, and story and stubbornness. The pack's movements elongate, tails losing that rigid spear line, tongues lolling wider. On. T. Minutes collect like pebbles in a bowl. The bowl begins to fill. When the dogs finally peel away, it isn't defeat but arithmetic. Energy spent against a wall returns nothing. They string themselves back into a moving ribbon and vanish into grass, already angling toward another rumor of weakness. On the shelf, baboons sag against each other, trembling not with fear now, but with the drain that follows a storm. Split ear flexes his bitten wrist, tests fingers, turns them into the rock. He does not lift his arms in victory. He kneels and breathes, the simplest ceremony there is. The troop descends only when heat softens and shadows lengthen. They move with the stiffness of those who have paid for the right to keep going. The outcrop stays behind, silent as a witness that remembers everything. In the dust at its base are prints layered on prints, dogs, baboons, struggle itself. Tomorrow will bring more circles, more tightening nets, but today the circle broke not by speed, but by a hand that found a hold, a body that became a hinge, a heartbeat that refused to miss its next beat.